Good morning, it's Tony Hayes from Paranormal Investigation UK. Today we're actually looking at some audio been supplied by Penny Wallace over at Somerset Paranormal. Always interesting captures from Penny, so I'm looking forward to doing this at last. Been quite a busy week, so there's a chance I've got some time when it's quiet to look at this. It's got an interesting backstory, this. We've done loads and loads of analysis on audio within a particular church. What I can gather, the actual recorder itself, which is a Sony digital recorder, is placed inside like a cardboard cone. This was really to attempt to duplicate a spiritual trumpet. We're doing like a side investigation and to do spiritual devices, encourage spiritual contact, so that I'm pleased to see that written there from Penny. The recorder was outside in the church porch. The recorder was quite close to her, and she could see the recorder. So it's a set of benches, or probably stone benches really, in the arch area, which is where the recorder would have been placed, with inside the spirit trumpet. Let's make close, no insects. So she's quite good, Penny, debunking certain aspects. And there's 4 bangs. Quite a lot of background noise apparently. Right, okay. Right, I've actually got it into Matescraft now. There's 1 bang there. There's the bigger one. Get louder. Now, what we're seeing here is that I'm just going to have a quick listen to this noise here, because there is a noise within the audio stream. I think that's going to cover the full spectrum. Yeah. See, where on earth is that sound come from? All the way through 0 to 7,000-8,000 hertz. I can clean that up. I can clean that up. As Penny wrote in her email, it's not going to cause any issue. So you can see this big crack sound, bang. In fact, let's play that back with the analyzer, and you'll see this big jump in frequency. Just put it back onto real time. Leave that. So you'll see a load of noise, and then you should see that jump up. What I was doing then, is that I've got my headphones on. I generally use a Rode powered microphone for do these podcasts, and headphones plugged into the side of it, and not amplified it any at all. With a single digital recorder with 1 microphone, it will generally always record in stereo left side, right side, which is this here and that there. I can't really tell on here, but listening, the right side is slightly louder than the left side. You can't really see it here. So what would happen, in fact, if this was much louder, the line would be thicker than the left hand side. I can hear on the headphones a slight difference between the two. You're not going to notice on a set of laptop speakers. It's just the sounds mixed in together then. So that's the advantage you have when you're wearing good quality headphones. So what we've got is a bang there, clearly. You know, that's a wrap. What I'm going to do is, because it's mixed in with a lot of sound and it's not going to be much higher in volume, a little tiny bit, let's see if we can pick out whereabouts it jumps in frequency. Around here. Yeah, it's around between 100 and 200. Right, okay. Let's see. Let's have a listen to the louder ones. It's about a minute long. I have timed the bangs. I couldn't find any. Sometimes if you're dealing with paranormal rapping, the interval between the bangs are exact or quite close. They're miles out, 10-12 seconds, so I've been able to rule that out. So that's a lot louder. I'm just listening to see if there's anything else I can pick out. It sounds like it's close to a motorway. Here we go. It's a bit. This will be loud. So what we've got here is a recorder that's been placed close to, is it within the church archway anyway? I'm not convinced that the sound's coming from outside the inside the church. If the church, more likely it's going to be locked. This is quite close up, because if you look at the frequency, if a frequency gets affected, for example 150 hertz, it just affects that frequency. Certainly on the louder one, it seems to affect all the frequency. So it's pushing everything up, which is highly suggestive that it's, you know, sound, it travels through on molecules. It's how far and how much air sound moves. It'll define the loudness of it. So you can imagine there's this, as sound's travelling through this particular bass frequency, which is this one, I think it is, travelling through the air towards a microphone. It's moving air, and when it hits it, it just won't be this. If there's sound already there, for example, there's either electronic or background sound, which is what you can hear throughout it, you'll see it all jump up. So we can get a clue as to what this was. See how it all jumps up. but was, is it? I'm pretty confident this is incredibly close to... I'm sure I got a picture. That's the cone that Penny uses. It also helps, it stops a lot of wind noise as well, but it will act like a large almost like hearing aid really, and may drag in other sounds. I would think this is concrete. Penny can advise on that. The walls are clearly stone. It's placed in there. Look how well worn that floor is. It's not a door bang. It's not a door bang. I think the way I'm going to work with this, I'm actually going to let's do some noise reduction. It's going to be quite a long video, unfortunately, this one. It's often the case, you think, you get one and you think, oh, it won't take too long, and an hour later. But this is quite a significant recording from Penny. It's worth taking the time. So this is the area of noise which we're not interested in. So we're going to sample some of that. Okay, to noise reduction, we're going to ask to grab the sample, highlight it whole. We're still subtracting based on that sample. That should. I think that's something in the cardboard. Maybe that's an experiment that Penny be able to do at home. Just simply put the recorder inside it and just tap with maybe something like a pencil or a pen. I'm pretty confident it's not a door, there's no vibration. Right, let's save that. Let's reduce. Again, I'm saving as a WAV file. Okay. Okay, we should be able to tell how much effect we've made with the bangs. How different do they sound? That's not the loudest one, is it? Yeah, these are the loudest ones, which is them. That's taking a little bit of the volume off. I want to just to see it, so I'm going to swap from one to the other just to see on hearing how much difference using the noise reduction software has affected it. Not hardly anything. Yeah, that's pretty. Quite pleased with that. It's not ripped any of the frequency of the bang, and we're going to have a closer association with frequency now. So because the other one was all sorts of frequency mixed in, we're not going to have that problem with this other one. So why I'm going to work with this is I'll mute the one that hasn't had its noise reduced. Let's analyze and we're going to find out exactly what frequency this one's operating in. There we go. What is that? Big strike there of sound. Oh, a clue what that is. Oh, like a bell. Let's put some volume on that. You might not be able to hear it in our headphones. I can clearly hear it. See, it's a big pillar. That's super strange. Okay, I'm just going to turn the volume back down. What generally happens, I'm just going to flip to this bang, concentrate on the bang. I'm actually going to go into average. It'll take an average reading of that time period. So let's go back to real time average. So what it's going to do is take all the sound and it's going to give an average of that particular time period. Okay. Now what you're going to notice is a huge spread of sound. Okay, you can see that there clearly. Let's just shorten that. So this is sound reflecting. So you look at that archway, for example, sound into the archway, bouncing off the seats, floors. It's got a stone floor as well as roof, ceiling, whatever. All gets mixed up and that's what you see. Now, interestingly, here, look there, there's no sound. It drops right away at 600 hertz, then about 700 hertz picks back up. So there's a very tight frequency between 6 and 700 hertz. Remember that, because I've just realised something. Okay, in fact, what I'm going to do for Penny, I'm actually going to take a screenshot of, whoops, wrong one, missed it. Okay. If you do this start working on quick screenshots, I always use the sniping tool. Absolutely brilliant bit of kit. Dead easy. I'm going to call it wrap. 1, 2, 3. This the third wrap into it. There's another one after it. Okay, now we'll go back to that weird sound. If anyone's got any ideas what this could possibly be, please let me know. So you can see all the sound there, huge amounts of sound all the way through the frequency from 0 to 10,000 hertz. Let's just put it to real time. I'm not increasing any volume at all. There we go. So what you've got here now is a single amount of frequency between 5, 6, 7 and 800 hertz. A single stream of frequency, tight frequency of 100 hertz. I'm going to amplify it now so you can hear it. So before I do that, I'm just going to take another. I'm trying to think of a word for it. It is within the voice spectrum, but it also within the rap frequency. I'll come back to that in a second. Let me just do this screenshot. I'm going to call it unexplained. And because we've found that, that's been one that's been hidden away within that frequency, which could not be heard until we did the clean-up method on it. So, so what generally happens, I've got some sound samples here. So, for example, wood tap hard. Let's find something. Yeah, we'll use that one. It's just as an example. That's all I want to do this for. See there? That's what you get, a massive amount of frequency. Big spread. 1,000 to 10,000, so there's 9,000 frequency. It spans that spectrum. So what we'll do is just get rid of that. Come here. Yeah, let's get rid of that. So if we go back to that squeak again. Oops. around here somewhere. There. It's a single spread of frequency. Seven to 800 hertz. So when we line the two up, I've been looking at audio for 36 years this year. I have never seen something this strange. Right, okay. This is the area that was missing between 1800, maybe 1900 and 2000 hertz. That is an unusual, so the frequency just drops away. But this is between 7 and 800. But if you look at the this is without the noise reduction, obviously this is with the noise reduction. Here is 700 hertz, 650. That's missing, but it's there. So it's almost as this frequency. I don't know what this is. I haven't a clue. And it's interesting because this sound generally is missing that area. So if that's there, it's right in between 700. She's there. There. Yeah. This is what we're hearing. I'll send them off to Penny. What I suggest we now do, sorry this is going to be an incredibly long video, but you just don't know. I generally never listen to them before I go to the analysis, generally because I like to go in completely cold. So, right, what I'm going to do now, we're going to stay with the noise reduced audio, which is the top one. I've got no amplification at all, I don't think, but now I am. I'm going to turn it up to about 15 decibels additional, so it's going to be a lot louder. I don't need that for the moment. So it's full minute, we'll listen all the way through, just in case there's something else hidden, which we reduce the noise out of it. It was hidden away. What on earth is going on here? I've gone back to the beginning. What on earth is going on with this recording? That there. This is all human freaking. It's almost as like someone's singing outside. Just go about this coming to the loudest bang now. Just be ready for this. Be on earbuds. I haven't a clue what on earth is going on with this. What I thought was a single spike, an unusual spike, no psi frequency. Which is generally what you get with rapping. Again, it's just a theory, really, that you hear a rap. So, for example, that sort of sound. If you do it with your knuckles, you will see a big span of spectrum frequency. With paranormal raps, they tend to be very precise, I call them chimneys, which is similar to the one that Penny captured. They're very unique because there's no explanation why there's no psi frequency. It's almost as if it's straight frequency. So the Dr. Barry Colvin, the fellow SBI member, he suggests that the sound is being emitted from within the wood outwards, and that's the reason why the side frequency disappears. I was running a case some years ago in Chester where we were dealing with multiple raps, probably over 1,000. And what I began to theorise is that they're particularly on the objects that were thrown. So if I've got a cup, for example, and it falls off the floor, we'll think of something else. A rock. Let's take a rock. A rock's on the side of a desk, and you push it off with your finger onto the floor, and you've got a recorder in the same position, records it. You would see quite a wide spectrum of frequency. The ones we've got in Chester, where these items just seem to just be pushed off by unseen hands, it was very specific when it hit the floor. This chimney type of frequency. That's when I theorised then that actually, if you're some sort of spirit, spook, whatever, you push an object onto the floor, you're using an energy of some form or some type that we don't understand. It's not using hands, I can assure you. It's got to be using energy. It surrounds the object, it pushes it, it then falls onto the floor. When it hits the floor, the energy is still around it. It's not dissipated. And therefore, the additional frequency doesn't escape, it's trapped within. The reason why we don't get that additional side frequency, get the chimney. And that's practically identical to what we were capturing in Chester. 900 to 1,000 raps were analysed, and they were very specific between 800 and 1,000 hertz. The one at Penny's captured there is around about 650 to 750, this peak, but always around this area. I don't know why, I haven't a clue, but it also within the voice frequency. It's like certainly loud enough for Penny may have heard it, but because there's so much background noise going on in the previous one, you certainly do not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a listen to it front to back again, because I managed to get that sound out of my ears. We're on practically flat out, so it is quite incredibly loud, but let's have another go, see what it sounds like. If anyone has got any ideas what this is, I'm literally all ears. Is that a bird? Then it sort of drifts away, doesn't it? Then it's back. Is that a bird again? Possibly. There we go. No, it's not a bird. Okay, I'm actually going to say this as an audio stream for Penny as well. I'll do it as a YouTube. I really don't know. It sounds almost like, considering this is in the middle of nowhere, just a church archway, really. Had there been a party going on outside, I think Penny would have said that. It's going to be interesting what her feedback is. I couldn't analyse every type of anomaly there, because literally hundreds of them in a 1 minute, 8 second piece of footage. So it's super strange. I would imagine that Penny would have been sufficiently suspicious of the reason why she said, I'm not sure what you can do with it. I think it's probably confused the reason why she sent it over, but I'm glad she has, because I've never seen anything like that. You know, obviously I was initially thinking that all I've got to do is analyse the 4 bangs, and yeah, the first, second and third, they were increasing in volume and velocity as it moves through, then begin to peter away. When you strip out the background hissing that's going on within there, you've got this other stuff going on. And let's bear in mind, even though it's a church archway, you don't expect that amount of background noise, and we always seems to have it in this particular building. It's almost as if the stones are talking constantly. It's really strange. I think it's one of them sort of places, if I was Penny, I would be looking to sign up a number of this is in fact, might be some of the SPR to look at, of trying to investigate, analyse and present the reason for what's actually going on here. I think it could do with more intricate audio recording. I know it's always a difficulty with investigating church, but I suppose if you put it together in a correct context, if you say we want to do a ghost hunting in your church, they're going to tell you to go away. But if you did it there, you want to do some audio analysis, because people often refer to the stone tape theory, and I've never been able to understand exactly what goes on with this church, because I've literally analysed thousands and thousands of audio recordings over the years, and this church always seems to be producing unusual background noise. It's not feedback, it's background noise. So anyway, I'm sorry that's been quite a hell of a long video. I didn't expect it to go that way, but this is what happens from time to time. I'll save that, get the audio to Penny, and wait for her to come back and advise accordingly. Okay, see you soon. Bye.